Xi Jinping has secured his place as China's most powerful and long-serving president since the revolutionary leader Mao Zedong, after the Communist Party confirmed that he will serve a third term, probably for life. But joining me live now is the author and senior risk advisor at McGrathNicol, Alex Joske. Alex, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. I've looked forward to getting your opinion on things for some time. But first of all, what do you think, or what's your takeout from President Xi's Politburo Standing Committee?
He's really stacked this standing committee with loyalists and supporters and has managed to entirely remove any sort of voice of dissent or reformist voices within the Chinese Communist parties. This is, for him, a resounding victory, but I think dangerous for the rest of the world.
And dangerous how so?
I think he's elevating security. He's showing that China is not going to focus on economic development, but actually warning ahead of struggle, of stormy seas, in his words, potential conflict over Taiwan. So he's really seeking to centralise his authority as he prepares for tough times ahead.
So you believe Taiwan and the taking of it is now more inevitable?
I think it's still something that I'm not expecting, in the immediate future, but the language coming out of the party congress all shows that Xi Jinping is trying to move China closer towards a position where it's able to do that.
Okay, I mean, in terms of a time frame, where have you shifted your idea? If you say it's not the near term, I mean, it is something that he does want, right? He's written that into the Constitution, I think, is what I was reading about yesterday.
That's right. They've certainly escalated their language around taking Taiwan. Previously they would talk about the need to peacefully reunify with Taiwan. Now that language is really more and more talking about, resolutely fighting against so-called Taiwan independence forces. But I think part of the challenge is that, Xi Jinping has no real strategy to engage with Taiwan. He's really only leaving himself this military option, but that would just be, I think, disastrous for China, for Taiwan and for the whole world.
How long do you think Xi's dominance can last?
I mean, right now it looks like, there's no clear end in sight. He's managed to so successfully push out any opposition within the top levels of the Chinese Communist Party, of the actual political core of China. And that is just a signal to me of his political dominance, his ability to manipulate workings behind the scenes. And so there's really no powerful organised opposition at the top of the party.
Well, if anyone raises any concerns, they get sent off to the gulags, right?
Yeah, and I mean, a really worrying signal here is that he's elevated top security officials to political roles that they've never held in the past. I think this is opening the door to more use of Chinese police and secret police in a way that looks much like the KGB under the Soviet Union, using it against his political rivals to further entrench his power.
We saw that extraordinary moment too on the weekend, Alex, where Hu Jintao was kind of picked up, and this is during Congress, he was picked up and marched off. It was kind of a made-for-TV moment, I would have thought. What did you think of that? I mean, China said, oh, he's sick, he's unwell, we moved him on, but I don't think anyone's really believing that.
It really is hard to believe the official line. Hu Jintao, this former president of China, Xi Jinping's predecessor, was clearly reluctant to be pushed off stage in front of foreign press, in front of TV cameras. He had to be pulled out of his chair several times before he actually stumbled out. And I think this is really consistent with sort of a wholesale removal of his faction, his supporters, his protégés from the senior leadership.
Alex Joske, I think you're one of the key voices in this story, so I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much for joining us here. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Alex Joske there, coming to us from Canberra.